Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the story. I need to talk quick and you guys kind of just made my camera work here. So we're tearing up the pavement. 4640 is heading back home to get back to work. Just spent the last few days up at the machine shop, or say the dealership. Had a little bit of work done to it. Needed new brakes on each side, and then while I was up there, they did the pins and the bushings underneath the front axle. Those were considerably bad and were to the point where if we didn't get them changed when we did, they would have started eating into the housing. And then if you start chewing into the housing like that, you're talking thousands of dollars just in machine shop work to get it fixed back properly. So here we are. The 8235 will be relieved of braking duty again, and I'm not going to say too much about it yet, but probably a lot more than I think I will in this video. But I haven't had a chance to go down and see what the valley looks like, particularly the bottom. We are in another dry spell. Granted, they are calling for, well, we had a 80% chance of rain this morning, up to an inch, that we completely missed. And now they're calling for another 50% chance of rain tonight, from midnight to like 5 in the morning. Today is Tuesday, and they're calling for a chance of rain for the next 2 days. But I know you guys can't see it from the camera, but a lot of this corn that I'm driving by is rolled up. We are currently into the point where the stalks are there. I mean, the actual plants are there. It's pollinated, but now we need another drink to really get the ears to fill out. Because right now, I really don't think it has any gas in the tank to really grow much for the kernels. Otherwise, it's going to start cannibalizing the stalk, which could be a nightmare in itself, because then you have no stalk strength to hold up any ears that it does produce. But back to what I was saying is, I'm going to go down and see what the valley looks like, the bottom ground. That being short on water really isn't an issue. I'm going to go down and see how far it is from really heading out, if it's going to head out. The last time I really checked it, I didn't go out very far. It was up mid-thigh, and that was a week ago. So the majority of the bottom ground, not the neighbor's place, not the pasture or the former pasture, I'm purely looking at just the bottom. I was planning on making 2 cuttings off of it. That's it. But the way things are looking and for how dry it is, I may very well be able to go down, make a second cut off of it now. We're not in August yet, but if I can get it cut, baled, hauled off, and then go through and hit it again with fertilizer, liquid 32, about 25 gallons to the acre. They don't have us completely out of the forecast for any rain at all. So if I get enough rain to really just get that nitrogen washed down to the roots, the grass, the plants, the roots themselves, really should be able to dig down deep enough to find moisture in the soil in the bottom. Because any of the low-lying areas around here, the grass is coming back very well. And what I would look at doing is letting it go for another month and a half, 2 months. If I can get it pretty well done the first week of August, you're looking the mid-September, at the very earliest, maybe late September, maybe into October. I really don't want to do it in October because I'd rather be focusing on harvest at that point. But if I can make 2 worthwhile cuttings off of the actual bottom yet, it's tempting to do it. I'm probably going to look into actually selling some hay here just for the fact that it's dry out. Pastures are pretty well burned up and done, and I think it really isn't going to hurt me very much at all to just say forget it, make it, and roll the dice on it. It's a gamble, and down there I really don't like gambling too much because water is an issue, and typically it's too much water, but using the bottom to its strengths, moisture there is adequate. And I'm really thinking that I at least want to try to make the bottom. The field ground, the neighbor's place, the pasture, leave it for second cut. The neighbor's place was cut, the pasture was cut the same time I made the bottom, but I know for a fact if I cut it, there won't be a third cut off of it. So I'm going to let that keep doing what it's doing, utilize whatever moisture we get here throughout the month of August, and let second cut be whatever it's going to be, and just see what it produces. The bottom, I don't know if I'd see another 100 bales off of it. If I saw another, at least 100 bales off of the bottom, that would be 2/3 of what I got off first cut. It's not as heavy as first cut. Of course, why would it be? It's second cut. I think it might be worth it. And then come back with a third cut and maybe hope to see another 80 bales. So in a second and a third cut, higher quality hay, higher quality feed, and yield more over second and third cut than what I did off of first cut what I made down there. I'm doing the math. I've done the math. I'm still kind of crunching the numbers in my head, and it's really leaning towards worth it. Because even going down with the coon cutter, the reason I'm thinking the coon cutter is because the material that's down there, it's reed canary. And with the coon, the cutter bar is tilted back all the way where we're leaving 3 inches plus of stubble. The regrowth is going to come back out of that stubble versus coming back through the roots. And I'm thinking that it will help my regrowth come back that much stronger. And then for the final cut, I'm going to come through and take it off at ground level. That's worked out pretty well in the past. And that ground that you saw me open up and those wet areas, those previous wet areas, I'm probably going to try to make that too, and actually gain another 5 to 7 acres over all that. So cautiously optimistic. I mean, this corn up through here, this is ours. I don't see any of that rolling up yet. If it rolls up a little bit, just protecting itself from this heat. 80 to 90 degree weather. The wind isn't blowing too bad, but it makes it kind of miserable to get out and be working in this weather. So I don't have a whole lot of battery to sit and talk for much longer, so I'm going to end yet right at 10 minutes. But the 46 is actually running really good. Hydraulic. Because the brakes deteriorated, they were blocking the sump screen, and about 1/3 of the sump screen was plugged. And nobody up there was actually worried about it because that's kind of what the brakes do on these older machines, and it didn't hurt anything. I mean, the old mechanic, the guy that's got all the experience up there, literally just shrugged at it. He said it wasn't an issue. And the tractor's actually driving better now than what it was when I was taking it up. So no concerns there. As far as the rest of the month of August, I'm maybe go through and finish making the valley, even though everything I said before about making 2 cuttings off of it kind of gets thrown out the window. So, I don't know. Running numbers through my head pretty regularly here lately. Grain prices, I have all of my grain between priced, and I have targets out there that really aren't that far from hitting, and I'll be pretty much 90% sold everything that I can sell. And we'll be looking at a pretty healthy, pretty good year, even with drought stress. And I've already started pricing in 2020 crops at better prices than what I originally started selling this year at. So, cautiously optimistic. Well, my battery's starting to flash, so I'm gonna end it here. I'm over halfway home now, so that farm of ours that I just passed is the halfway point to Bloomington. So you guys are watching the rest of the story. It's always something, right? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Liking, commenting, and subscribing all certainly helps. I've seen a little bit of resurgence in the channel, so I definitely appreciate that. But until next time, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Talk to you guys later.